70% Podcast with your host, Amy Alexander and Mike Sewell.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday at Tucson's. Sorry, the wrong day.
Well, we're used to doing this on Tuesday.
Welcome to the 70% Podcast.
Yeah.
On Monday, we're at Tucson's in Green Bay.
Okay, so if you don't know where Tucson's is, it's in Green Bay on the east side. Fabulous food, great staff. Mm-hmm. They do a wonderful job with taking care of us anytime we come in here.
Right.
Please come out, visit their local restaurant. Well, the owner is a local guy.
Right,
so
right.
Come out
Tucson's
and
on
visit.
Lime Kiln.
Yep.
Next to the Walgreens on the corner of Lime Kiln and Alloway.
No doubt.
All right. Well, welcome to the 70% Podcast, our very first live show.
Yeah. We're back.
Woohoo! Yeah,
So-
I just came back from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, how was that?
It was actually really nice. I was impressed with the cleanliness of the city and the different things. But so I busted ass to get back here, and so apologize a little bit. We're a few minutes behind.
A couple of minutes behind because
That's-
Amy decided that she wanted to take a mini vacation. No, it's okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
actually leaving Thursday.
Are you?
I'm going to Florida.
Oh, nice.
So I'm out of here Thursday. I'm going to go get some sun.
You need some sun, Mike.
No,
Everybody
some sun.
needs
I need
some
vitamin D.
D.
I need some
Yes.
vitamin D. It's cloudy out here in Wisconsin.
Oh my God, it's like Seattle.
I know.
But
I know.
yeah, I've never lived in Seattle, but I can imagine this is what it would be like.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that changes next week or the week after, and we start getting some
eventually.
sun. Well, here's the thing. We got rid of the snow early. We started getting a lot of rain.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we got the rain in March, late March.
Right.
So typically March really goes out like, hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we get a lot of snow.
Right.
But this year we got a lot of rain.
We did
So
get a ton
lot of rain
rain.
in March, a lot of rain in April. So May flowers. So April showers, May flowers. That's
May
what we're
flowers.
looking forward to. So,
Okay. All right. So, anyway, welcome. Today we're going to do a live podcast because we would like to get people to call in or make comments during our show so that we can get some feedback or
Right.
get some questions.
Well-
And we're talking about elections. We have been, we kind of ended last season
Right.
talking about the elections. Elections have consequences.
Yep.
We had the spring election here locally, and
we actually had a friend in the spring election.
We did.
Yeah. Andrew Gerlach.
He lost by one vote.
Yeah. But he lost to a good guy. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, he and the other gentleman are actually friends. So.
Right.
Yeah. So
It's always a tough thing. I mean, and not being in the political arena in the past, our friend Andrew, I mean, I know he would do an excellent job, but they're just, being a newbie, it's kind of, I
Absolutely.
think he learned a lot, and next time around he might actually be able to win it.
No doubt. So if you're listening and you're on live here and you want to call in and talk about any of the shows that we had in the past, you listen to the podcast and you say, hey, I got some questions about this, that, or the other. The number to call is 920-585-4776. Again, the number is 920-585-4776. So just go ahead and call in, and we'll go ahead and pick up on your call. So what we're doing tonight, we're talking about the political environment. We're talking about the elections that are coming up in 2022, and who's going to be running for those elections. Amy's going to read off about who's actually running for those elections. We're not going to try to sway you to vote for anyone in particular, but what we're trying to do is get you to at least look these people up, see what their platform is about, and decide whether or not they're going to benefit the American people.
Right.
Okay. It's so many times we vote just because we're blue or we're red.
Right. Or whoever has the most exposure to the, a lot of people will go to the ballot and, I need to do my civic duty and vote,
Right.
and then they'll vote for the person that they heard of the most. And that's why there are billions of
Forget about
dollars nationally spent on campaign,
Campaign
campaigning
ads and
and
stuff like that,
ads and everything else.
Smear campaigns
Smear
and all that
campaigns.
other crap.
Well,
too.
and that's
Yeah.
the thing, it's like, okay, yeah, elections coming up, and you start, here come the commercials and
Right.
stuff. Just turn all that crap off.
Exactly.
Go and research the candidates. You can find out what their votes are like, what they've been doing, if they've been in a position
Right.
in our government in the past or up until now.
In our little corner of the world, the website is
www.myvotewi.gov.
myvotewi.gov. So go there, and you can look up all the candidates that we're getting ready to talking about this evening, and decide which one is best for you.
Yeah,
Okay?
myvote.wi.gov. If you are in a different state, then I believe it's the same thing with just putting your
Put your state
yeah,
in or
just-
something like that.
Just
Okay.
search.
No doubt. Okay, great. All right. Again, if you are on live and you decide that you want to call in and ask some questions, don't be shy. Just go ahead and give us a call at 920-585-4776. 920-585-4776. So back to the elections and stuff like that. So right now, the elections that are coming up in 2022, what are we voting for in 2022?
We're voting for a lot. Locally, we're voting for governor, lieutenant governor, and Secretary of State, Attorney General.
Okay.
So we've done a lot of the local stuff. Now we're going into and the treasurer.
Right.
And we're going into the statewide
Right.
arena. And I don't know if you guys caught our show. Well, we didn't have a show on, what day was that, Thursday? When we went to Shay Sortwell's fundraiser.
Oh no, we did a live for Shay.
Yeah, we just did
a live
little,
for Shay.
little quick.
Yeah, just a
whatever.
quick little. And that's the district.
Right.
Right.
And I apologize. I heard that it wasn't very easy to hear us because
Oh.
we didn't have microphones and a
Yeah,
lot of background
yeah.
noise and stuff.
And
So-
that's the problem with the background noise. When we go live and we're in particular
Yeah.
places, that's the problem. We got a lot of background noise and stuff
Right.
like that.
Well, we went there kind of, and we just like showed up without Nate, so we didn't have our sound guy following us around. But we do, that's on a state level as well. And so we have a lot of candidates that are up for re-election that are either unopposed
Right.
or there are quite a few different people seeking the same position. So you don't want to go in just, A,
Right.
B, or C. I'm going to pick C every single time or whatever. So you want to get an idea of who the candidates are that you want to take a look at.
just the candidates that are governor, and let's go Democrat and then Republican,
Well,
and then lieutenant governor. Let's talk about those.
Okay, well, Tony Evers.
Evers.
Evers, so
Evers.
slightly is so he's the incumbent, and he is our current governor, and he's running again.
Right.
And he's running unopposed, which is usually the case. With
Unopposed by his own party.
Right.
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 Yeah.
Right.
So if you feel as though Evers hasn't produced for Wisconsin, or has put Wisconsin in a I don't know, has brought us down a little bit, then maybe you want to start looking at some of the Republican Party that's opposed. But we also have some independents
We have independent
that
candidates.
are running as
Yep.
well.
Just Hissel, which I think Hissel,
Yeah.
and Joan
Ellis. Yep.
Joan Ellis Beglinger.
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 Yep, Beglinger.
Yeah.
So Joan Ellis Beglinger, she's the independent.
Do you know anything about? Do you know?
I do not.
See,
I do
and
not.
That's
But
what we
that's
need to,
and that's
and we're encouraging people to. We don't know everything about everybody, definitely. But we're all in this together, so we're going
Exactly.
to be exploring these candidates, try to find out whose platform, what their connection is with certain issues and things
Right.
like that. So
exactly. So many times in the past, and I'm guilty of it myself. Okay, so what I do in the past, what I've done, I should say, is that I say, okay, well, I'm kind of conservative, so I'm going to vote for whoever the Republican is, and I have zero clue as to what this person is about, what their platform is about,
Right.
what they're running on, and don't get me wrong, I voted for Trump, but I don't agree with his attitude and the way he talks and the way he treats people and stuff like that. However, his policies is
Right.
what I voted for. I didn't vote
I voted for him because he's the business guy. Like
Right.
if we're going to run a country and get our collective stuff together, then it has a lot to do with finance, economy, and everything else. And he was the business person.
But in that election, who was the independent?
I was gonna just say Ross Perot, but
The funny part about that is Ross Perot would have won. Hands down, everybody in America wanted Ross Perot as president.
so all I have to do is start making up some charts and stand in front. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. When I run for president, I'm just gonna have like whiteboard charts and stuff. That's straight up my alley.
I like it. I like it.
So, yeah.
So definitely check out Joan Ellis Beglinger. So check her out. Okay, she's an independent, and Jess Hizzle. I'm sorry.
Hizzle.
Yeah, Hisel.
Right, and we can put a list
Those are
of
the
these
independent.
people in
and then you got
our
we could do
page,
that
too.
too. And then Tony Evers, of course, he's the incumbent. So check out his platform,
Mm-hmm.
find out what he's done for Wisconsin, whether or not we want him back in office or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that you could do. A lot of people are always asking, how is it that I'm going to be able to make a difference in my corner of the world? And the only way that you're going to make a difference in your corner of the world is by doing the research to find out
Right.
who's actually who's actually running in your corner of the world, and be able to decide, whether or not, who you want to vote for and why.
Right.
So there's that.
Well,
But-
and that's the thing. It's call in with your take on whether or not Republican versus Democrat is the way to go, or a third party candidate. I mean, there are a lot of arguments about how third party candidates take away from the other traditional
Right.
parties, but in my opinion, first of all, in my honest opinion, I think more of us are libertarian independent than we admit or that we realize. And so if you really sat down and took a hard look at whether or not you're Democrat or you're Republican, you probably fall somewhere in between, and which would bring you to the Libertarian or Independent Party,
Right.
and
Yep.
which wouldn't put either one of these candidates.
Exactly. So you wouldn't put any of the Republican and or the Democrat Party in the office, and we'd be voting more for the independent or whatever.
Right.
So who are Republicans that are running for governor right now?
Rebecca Kleefisch, I know for sure,
Okay.
because she was lieutenant governor for Scott Walker.
Okay,
So she's
okay.
part of the Republican Party. She's running. Adam Fisher is running. James Kellen, Kevin Nicholson.
Okay.
And I don't know enough about. I know from past elections and about Rebecca Kleefisch, but I'm not super versed on these others. So we
Okay.
definitely need to do our research and make sure we find out what platform or what their, just because they're Republican doesn't necessarily
mean what we should be voting for them.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Well, if you know anything about these guys and a little bit more than what we know, go ahead and give us a call at 920-585-4776. Go ahead and give us a call at 920-585-4776. If you know anything about the candidates that we're talking about right now that we don't know, or you got some comments about the subject that we're discussing this evening, and or if you got comments about past shows that we discussed. So go ahead and give us a call.
Yeah.
I love it.
I kind of feel like our next thing is we're going the Macy's Day Parade, Thanksgiving. I feel like I'm at That's.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
We yeah.
You think we could do the Thanksgiving Day Parade?
I like it. Yeah. I
Oh,
think so.
hey. So I could be Michael, like Michael Strahan, and you could be like Kelly Ripper. I'm just kind of a beat up
The
kind of
smarter,
Michael,
cuter version of Kelly Ripa. Yes.
and I'm kind of more of a beat up version of Michael Strahan.
Okay, you said it, not me. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
anyway.
Lieutenant Governor.
So Lieutenant Governor, we have David Bowen. This is the Democratic Party candidates.
Okay, yep.
Peng Her and Sarah Rodriguez.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
Republican Party candidates.
Ooh,
we have
that's a
quite
lot
a
of
few.
them.
Yeah.
Wow.
David King,
Right.
Will Martin, Roger Roth, Patrick Tustin, David Varnum, Cindy Werner, Jonathan Wickman, and Kyle Udis.
That's a lot of them.
Right.
So if you go to that website,
Right. myvote.wi.gov.
right. So if you go to the website, it'll show you exactly who the candidates are. So if you're not catching who the candidates are right now, you could just go right to that website and you'll be able to pick up who the candidates are and just do a little research. Find out which ones are going to, speak to you.
Right. Well, and, there's the internet. So there's
The intraweb.
the intrawebs. Yeah. I don't know who's saying or whatever this is, but, in the age of internet, ignorance is a choice, right? And not to call anybody ignorant, but if you have questions about people or you're not sure about who you're going to vote for, there's definitely a plenty of information out there to get to know the candidates more. The problem being is when you get your candidates that put out the smear campaigns and the commercials. So you start listening to commercials,
Right.
and or seeing the commercials, and it's like, oh, that person kicked a puppy yesterday, and that other person threw an older person out of a window, and that person, is. You can't listen to the hype. Well, maybe they're lies, maybe they're not lies, whatever, but they're smears.
Right.
And then the other stuff, you have a PAC. This committee is, endorsing this person. And
Long story short, what we're ending up with is a bunch of candidates fighting against each other. They have billions of dollars or millions of dollars, and they're doing smear campaigns on one another. And the problem is that we don't take the time out to do the research to find out who we should be voting for. Is that what we're getting at?
We need to stop voting for people because they're not the other guy.
Right.
Or girl, whatever.
Right. Quite honestly, I think we need to stop voting for Republican and or Democrat and start voting for the independent, in my opinion. If we all voted for the independent and got the independent in office,
right,
we probably would start seeing some real changes. And that's across the board. I'm not talking about just in our own little world. I'm talking about the presidential candidate. I'm talking about the senates and all of that stuff. We get all of these old heads out of office, and we start voting for the independents, and we get them in office and see what they can do. I mean, we voted for Republican and Democrat year after year all the time, right?
Right, but the problem is,
why not give the independents a try?
The Republican National Committee and the Democrat National Committee are these huge mechanisms for raising money and making sure their candidates get in the spotlight. And how do you get other people to...
So let's just do it here in Green Bay. Our voice is carrying here in Green Bay right now.
You know that we are
People
one of the
listen.
swing, Brown County is one of the deciding, we are a big...
Like a swing vote?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
And
So then let's do it.
Okay.
Let's band together, all of us, and vote for the independent this year. Well, let's make sure we vote for the right independent. So we have Joan Ellis, and then John.
So, but here's Mike.
Jess, excuse me.
We just said that we can't.
No. What I'm saying is that we need to research them
and
find out of the two who are going to be the ones that are going to look out for our interests.
Because we just said you don't just vote based on D or R and after the name, but we don't want to just vote.
DRI. Let's vote for DRI. No, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that we need to look at the independent and decide whether or not we want, one of them in office. Let's, at the very least, instead of just looking at the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, and let's look at the independent and decide whether or not they are, going to be worth voting
Right.
into office.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're so overlooked. I mean,
So-
I have never looked at the independent party and decided look at their platform and see what they're about. I always look at the Democratic Party. I always look at the Republican Party, and 9 times out of 10, I don't do a lot of research on what who the Republicans are.
Do you know,
what I mean?
who the longest running? Oh, maybe I don't know if this is a. I think this is still correct. The longest running independent senator
I don't.
is
I don't.
Bernie Sanders.
Oh, okay.
So
So I guess I do.
and Ron Paul I think was at one point. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
he's independent. Correct me. Anybody can correct whatever.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. But I think, and I mean, yes. Do we want more independent candidates in there? Of
Right.
course. But if they have effed up ways of it just
You can't say that on live.
I said effed.
You
up.
okay.
I can. I can say.
Can you say that on live? Can we use profanity, Jenny? Oh, I didn't know that. Now I'm gonna let loose. No, no, I'm teasing.
All right. So, yes.
So there you go. So let's move on. So we got governor, we got lieutenant governor, and then we got the people that we typically don't even think about voting for. So what do we have? The attorney general. How many times have you looked at any of the attorney generals and decided, oh, I'm going to vote for this, or do you just go down the line?
I don't know that a lot of people are aware of state legislature and how that all works, though. I mean, we get so focused on the national level,
Right.
and we know, the 3 branches of government and stuff. Different
Do
states.
we though?
Do we?
Do we know the 3 branches of government?
I maybe. So, I know I do. I do. Does everybody?
No, and that's the thing. Does everybody know? That's the question. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
So.
It's just so many people don't know. They just don't know. And it's not anyone's fault. Like in school, which is one of the topics that we're going to get to this season. We're going to talk about the schools and what's happening in the school system today as far as parents' rights being taken away and so on and so forth.
Right.
So we're going to discuss that in another show. But in school, they should teach a little bit more about the legislation and who what the different branches
From
are
the state level?
and from the state level and the federal level
And local, even.
and local
Municipalities. have their
along with teaching about finances and stuff like that, credit cards, how to operate. They should teach all of that stuff. You know what I
They
mean?
should, yeah. There should be like an adulting course, 101, 102, 103. And
especially in college, that should be the general ed courses that we have in college, or at least one of the general ed courses that we have in college. You know what I mean?
what if you don't go to college?
No, I'm saying if you do go to college.
Oh, okay.
So they should teach that in high school for sure.
Right. Definitely in high school.
Definitely in high school, starting in 9th grade, they should teach all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then going into college, they should teach more advanced courses in those subjects. Take out some of the general eds that they have today and put some of those things in. You know what I mean?
Okay. Which general eds would you take out?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in college, so I don't know. But I'm sure there's some general eds that we don't need.
Right.
What would you take out?
Nothing.
You wouldn't take out any general eds at all?
Nope.
Okay, so what general eds do you think we need? I guess that's for another show.
Yeah.
That's for when we talk about schools.
People are like, oh, I never used geometry. And I'm like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking. No, that should be required. I think math, science courses, those should be required for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't.
But critical thinking? Is that-
Critical thinking.
Well, that teaches us that we should think critically, right? So,
Yes.
so I guess we probably need that. All right. Well, we'll talk about that on the next show.
So, right. So, going forward, we definitely we went back and forth as to whether or not, how we want to start a second season, and
Right.
if we're going to keep going, and whether or not we should be doing live shows or just continue to record them. I think so too. I mean, this is great. Steve let us use his facility here just to kind of kick this off.
Absolutely. I love it.
And then we have everybody here. We have the producer here. We have our marketing guru here.
Yep.
We got pretty much everybody that's involved.
That's part of the show.
Yeah, involved in the production is here, and we keep getting cues from Jenny. Lift your eyes up. Look at the camera.
Look at the camera. Stop looking at each other.
I don't know. I keep looking at the computer. Put your, whatever.
Right. Right.
But yeah.
So talk louder. Look at the camera more. Okay. Can you tell that we're novice at this? That we don't know what we're doing? Can you?
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh crap. That's okay. So. If you guys got some feedback over there for us or live as what we should do differently when we go live, I'd appreciate that. Just go ahead and shoot us some feedback. Again, this is the first time we've done this. We're not sure what we're doing. We're just trying to do something different here. So go ahead and shoot us a message and say, hey, you should do this next time or do that next time
and
or
just
whatever.
In case you're wondering and just jumped in, this is the 70% podcast. And I am your host, with the mostest, Amy Alexander.
I thought you forgot your name.
No. I'm like, am I a host or I'm a hostess?
Okay.
Is that politically correct these days? I guess.
Not now. You have to just be the host. You can't be the hostess. It's too much separation.
Oh,
we're
good
both
Lord.
hosts, period. And I'm Mike Sewell. Oh, look at that. We got a call. Oh, no. I'm not. That's not a call in. That's not a call. That's a customer calling me.
Oh yeah, you can't do business on
no
podcast.
I'm just gonna tell him I'll call him back.
Oh, right. Awesome. And are we gonna have guests on the show this season?
We are. We're gonna pull some guests in this season. We're gonna, especially when we start talking about school. It's when we start talking about the hospitals and stuff like that. What's happening with COVID today?
COVID. Can we say that word?
We can say it now because it's all but gone.
Oh my gosh. They took the mask mandate off the airplanes.
I know.
In the middle of, and I saw footage of people like cheering, oh, by the way, effective now. You no longer
have to wear a mask.
Yeah. I'm sure there were a few people that kind of freaked out and were like, what? Everybody's taking their masks off.
And they did that while they were in midair. This is your captain speaking. You can now take your mask off. We don't need that shit anymore. I mean, stuff anymore.
Yeah, right. Which is, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what anybody thinks about, we know COVID was real. We know the virus is real. We know people got sick. We know people died, and that's super unfortunate.
Yeah.
But there's only so far that you can take that before it's just too much.
Right.
It's too much for the human population, in my opinion, to have to.
I can't. Years from now, when the studies come out about how many people were depressed or upset, about this whole thing, I'd like to see those studies. I'd like to read those studies. So. Real quick, we're just going to go straight through the other candidates that are running in so like the treasurer and stuff like that. We're going to go through that real quickly, and then we're going to end the show because you guys can't really hear us, and then we're going to do another live probably next week or the week after or something like that, okay?
Something.
So the Democratic Party for treasurer is whom?
The people that keep track of the money.
Yeah. Dollars and cents. You got to follow the dollars.
Well, Republicans is Orlando Owens. He is the only candidate that we have listed.
Yeah. Gillian Bettino, Aaron Richardson, Angelito Tenorio.
For the Democratic
Party. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. And there are no independents running for that. There are no independents running for the lieutenant governor, the state secretary. There are no independents running for that as well.
Nope.
And then the last but not least, we have. Oh, that's it. No. Oh, Secretary of State. Douglas J. LaFollette is the Democratic Party primary.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Dimitri Becker Amy Loudenbeck and Jay Schroeder for Republican Party.
There you go. There you go. So, long story short, guys, if you before voting this year, okay, the theme of this show is to let everybody know before voting this year, let's at the very least take a look at the candidates and decide who we truly want to vote for.
Right.
Instead of going back and forth, Republican, Democrat, and getting the same old crap that we've been getting
Right.
for the last, God knows how long, okay? Let's start looking at the candidates. Let's make sure that they are out for the American people, that they are looking out for the lay person, that they want to put money back in our pockets. They want to stop taxing us to God knows what, and just, make sure they're out for the American people, period.
Yes.
And if they are for us, then let's vote for them. If they're not, let's get them the hell out of there. We don't need them anymore. The billionaires who don't care about us, the Democrats that don't care about us, the Republicans that don't care about us, or what should I say, the career politicians.
The career politicians, the politicians that are getting rich by being politicians,
Right.
while everybody else gets poor.
Nancy Pelosi, who's a billionaire.
I don't think she's a
Okay.
billionaire. but
All right.
that
She's a
might
millionaire
be
at the
an
very least.
exaggeration. But there are very, 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 very many Congress people that are in the $1 Million Club. And being a public servant, should you get rewarded for that? Yes, but to the extent that they are, a lot of us, if you get rid of insider trading, it's not legal for us to do. I don't know why it's legal for our politicians to do it.
Right.
Term limits. Find the candidates that are okay with term limits and actually
Yeah.
want to fight for that.
Absolutely.
Because 30, we've had the worst. Everything is pretty much going downhill from the last 30 years,
Right,
And
right.
when you look at that, there are a lot of politicians that are in our Congress right now that have been running the show for 30 years.
And they've been in office way too long,
Right.
and it's time for them to go. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we are going to cut this a little shorter than we normally would.
Next
even though
time
we
we'll do
love
live
Tucson's.
from the studio.
All right. Thank you very much. This is Amy Alexander.
I'm Mike Sewell.
Please like, subscribe, share, and comment.
No doubt. Enjoy your evening.